NABN, New Africa Broadcasting Network. The Nigerian community in the U.S. has put in place measures to establish a Nigerian community-based bank that would serve the Nigerian community both in the U.S. and at the homeland.
The Nigerian Federal Credit Union that we propose will ensure that members of the Nigerian community, the minority community, as is true for all our clients, will have access to credit, capital, and banking services that reflect and truly reflect their credit worthiness.
The proposed bank, Nigeria Federal Credit Union, is being promoted by the Nigeria National Association, a non-profit organization in the U.S.
Here is what you might want to know. One of the biggest emerging markets for Citibank, as an example, one of the biggest emerging markets is Nigeria. Guess where the Embassy of Nigeria cannot bank? Citibank. This dynamic really mirrors the challenge for the Nigerian community, for many minority communities. While we have purchasing power, we do not always get the deal we deserve. The credit and interest rates we get, we're offered, often does not reflect our credit worthiness. It increases our cost of capital. It means that we need to be in high margin businesses then to be able to be profitable. This is the challenge. So while every Nigerian and any minority can go to any bank and do business, all things being equal, the question is, what is your cost of capital? What kind of financing advisory does that financial institution offer to you? Does that financial institution have a stake? Are they a stakeholder in your community? Long-term stakeholder, not to you as an individual or to fidelity to the loan, which we will also maintain fidelity to the loan, but are they stakeholders in your community? I propose to you that we are. I propose to you that we are the faces of that high interest rate. That high interest rate that does not often correlate with our high credit rating. This is the core value proposition that we present to our community.
During a press conference at Nigeria Embassy, Washington, D.C., the chairman of the committee, Dr. Kazim Bello, said a community could not realize its full potential without access to banking services and capital at favorable interest rate.
Essentially, that actually deeply impacts Nigerians in terms of deepening their financial leverages, deepening and improving their financial opportunities. And some of it is the so-called money transfer that we have all heard about. If Western Union, statistics where we had showed that Western Union and MoneyGram combined accounts for about $5 billion out of the United States alone to Nigeria annually. About $5 billion alone. And if we look at that and we focus that this credit union can even take just 5% of that and give back to Nigerians in terms of benefit and in terms of lower cost of transfer. This is a community bank, and this bank is going to do a lot of community work.
Credit unions provide banking services nationwide: loans, mortgages, credit cards, checking, mobile banking, and more.
What we have not had is the economic muscle that is consistent with our high levels of education as a people, that is consistent with our high levels of entrepreneurship as a people. We have the education, we have the entrepreneurial spirit. We propose to be that access to capital that will leverage these two variables and make us begin to achieve financial emancipation.
The steering committee of the proposed bank was inaugurated in April by former Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, and Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, during the U.S.-Nigeria Investment Summit at the Nigerian Embassy at Washington, D.C.
The critical question I've been asked before is, why are we doing this? Why did the Emir think it was important that we set up this credit union? As you know, by law, anybody can go to any bank and open an account. Anybody can go to any bank and apply for credit. Yet, statistics, data tells us that minority communities, especially immigrant communities, are disproportionately pushed into bad financing, high interest rate financing. You can't have economic growth if you don't have financial independence. You can't have economic emancipation if you don't have access to capital at competitive rates, at rates that reflect your creditworthiness. This has been a challenge that we as all minority communities have had problem getting beyond.
The steering committee of the proposed bank, at a meeting at the Nigerian Embassy in Washington, D.C., to perfect plans for the registration and formation, said it would advance the credibility of Nigerians in the U.S.
We equally know that this opportunity will enhance the credibility of our citizens.
The steering committee members believe a bank for Nigerians in the U.S., the largest African immigrants in the U.S., the largest country in Africa, and the most populous black nation on earth, was long overdue.
We are creating this opportunity for Nigerians and members of the Nigerian diplomatic corps. It's long overdue because we have a sizable number of population in this country. We also equally have a sizable number of professionals and our people in the workforce and the industrial sector in this country. We do not have to go to the figures. We know them.
Mr. Bayo Idowu, Minister, Economic, Trade and Investment at the Nigerian Embassy, said,
"It is important for Nigerian community in the U.S. for one, for identity, two, for economic empowerment, and for investment in the Nigerian economy, because we will have established a direct link with banks at home through this credit union. This is why it is very significant, and we really need to push it through."
Mrs. Remy Duyule, a seasoned financial professional in the U.S., said,
"Yes, today history was made at the Nigerian Embassy in Washington, D.C. on the formation and the discussion on the federal credit union by Nigerians in the diaspora. So I am personally elated as a former seasoned financial professional who has been and grown in the United States of America in the banking world. I'm so super excited. This is a needed development in our community. So I'm so excited that we're finally coming together. I know it's still a long road ahead, but I'm inviting all of us to embark on this journey. The banking institution is the most highly regulated institution in the whole world. So the fact that it's a Nigerian bank, don't let that deter you. The regulations stand for every credit union. So please join us with your time, your talent, and your treasure. Let's make Nigeria proud again.
It is important for Nigerian community in the U.S. for identity, for economic empowerment, and for investment in the Nigerian economy, because we would have established a direct link with banks at home through this credit union. NABN TV Community Outreach Reporting. Thank you for watching. KitaApp.com. The apps that give you instant access to a doctor anytime, anywhere in the world. Speak to a board-certified licensed doctor using your mobile device, telephone, or text SMS within minutes. If medically necessary, a prescription can be sent to your pharmacy of choice. Register today. Visit their website at www.dokitaapp.com.